The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We've provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have one episode of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina for you.
We do indeed.
If you can't remember we're doing this, or if you forgot, or if we didn't announce it, I don't remember. We're doing these one at a time because they're a lot.
We announced it. We've done it for the past couple weeks.
We have, but like I forget things from day to day.
Okay, fair.
I feel like it's nice to give people a reminder.
That is true.
And it's nice to give myself a reminder. And this is a
Also
much more manageable approach to these because there's a little bit more to them.
Yes.
And
And they're long episodes.
we're in a busy season of life.
That is also true.
So we're here, and we're sorry if the episodes are short, but they are what they are. You get what you get. This is what I can give you. Like when a cat brings you a dead bird, this is what I've got.
Well, I hope it's a little better than a dead bird.
Well, a cat is trying to feed you.
Oh,
They mean it from a good place. They said, I hunted for you.
That's true. I just hope you receive the dead bird
Yeah.
better.
Unless, who am I to judge? I have a hive and or a bug bite next to my eye. It's very annoying. If you see me touch my eye and then make a face like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to do that, and you're watching the video, that's what I'm doing. I am not losing my mind. Well, I am, but that physical movement is not an indication of it.
It's a fun time.
It's just, we're having a good time.
It's going great.
We're here. We're alive. No, we're
In
not
all
bad at all.
seriousness. Yeah, exactly.
Life is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just busy.
It's busy. And, yesterday we had a day.
Oh, yeah.
We went shoe shopping in person, something we haven't done in a long time. And
Not worth it.
we made the mistake of going to a sports store that has a shtick and a gimmick. Because we weren't aware of that, which we should have known.
No.
We should have Googled it. And I almost did before we went. And then I said, why?
Yeah, it's like they want you to go through this entire like fitting experience and stuff like that. But then our guy wasn't paying attention to us, so it's like,
yeah, they're trying to help too many people at once, and then they're like making you walk barefoot on a treadmill that other people walk barefoot on. Oh, that I had to come home and shower. I don't mind being like, I would be barefoot in public. Like, I never had an issue with the whole Britney Spears went into a public restroom barefoot. But to go to a sports store and make me walk on a to make me walk around barefoot is where I draw the line.
yeah,
I can't explain other than that.
Yeah, what they're trying to do is like, because then we can see how you walk, and then we're supposed to be able to fit you with the right shoe,
And
then
give you custom insoles.
Yeah,
That's
and they
the
like
gimmick.
film your feet and stuff like that. So then I'm like, what are they doing with all those videos of people's feet?
What are they doing?
Well,
and then my favorite
and then they try
thing,
and like you said, upsell you on insoles.
well, and the way their whole thing, they have you stand on a thing and it tells you your foot and all this stuff. But like, it's not 100% accurate because one, Brenton's shoes were clown shoes. They told him he was a size and a half bigger than he is.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And then of course they bring out the shoes, and it's like, yeah, none of these fit.
And then I had about the right size shoe, give or take, but they decided my feet were normal width, and they are at the toe box, but I have flat feet, in case you all cared. And so technically I have wide feet, but the widest part of my foot is not at the toe, which is where I assume they measure it from. So all in all, it was a strange journey, and I found absolutely no shoes I liked, and they wouldn't bring me certain other shoes. Like I kept asking,
they weren't listening to her
and they
at all.
weren't listening to me at all. And I was like, can I have these? Like, what do you have in a wide? Can I try these in a half size down in a wide? And they'd bring me the shoes that I currently own in a size and a half bigger than what I wear, even though I did not measure to a different size. It was the whole thing was weird, and it was a 0 out of 10 experience.
Yeah.
The kid went on his break in the middle of helping us.
Yeah, well, yeah, because first it's like, all right, we'll do your fitting. I'm like, okay, well, we're here together. Like, we're both going to want to get shoes. And he's like, okay, and then I'll do hers. We go through mine, and then he's like, all right, I'll get your shoes, but then I got to help someone else, and then I'll be back for Emily's. And it took him like 20 minutes to just sit there.
We spent what I felt like the rest of our lives. It was at least an hour and a half in the shoe store.
And then he disappeared, and some other guy was supposed to be taking care of us, but he also had other people, so then we just left.
So maybe go to like a big department store if you want to try on shoes if they have them.
Yeah.
I hate to say it because I think I love in-person shopping. One of the things I miss the most is in-person shopping. I loved going to a mall. I love a nice mall. And I know that capitalism is bad, but if you're going to make me do capitalism, I want to be in a nice mall.
Yeah.
Because I want everything to be where I can go try things on and look at things and decide.
Yep.
And this was not that experience.
No, we didn't know walking in there, and we should have just been like, "Hey, we just want shoes. Get
Well,
these
we
shoes.
did.
Get this, this, and this."
Yeah.
So
It was not the best.
no.
Maybe we'll try a different shoe store. What I really wanted, and I was telling Brenton this, is I wanted to find like a mom and pop running shoe store, which I don't know if those exist anymore. But I think of it like when I first got my point shoes as a ballet dancer, you go into like a dance store and then there's like this older woman and she's sitting there and she's like, your first point shoes. And she's kind of like a witch almost, or like a mystical being. Or like, and she's like, let us sit. And then she, or like the guy who does the ink in Witch Hat Atelier.
Yeah.
Who makes the wands and stuff.
Mm-hmm. God, what's his name?
It's like that kind of vibe where they're like, oh, and this is the magic of these. And they're like super knowledgeable. Like that you literally stand there barefoot and like a good like point shoe fitter will be like, okay, like these are the shoes I think will work with your foot. And like, what are your preferences? So like, do you like a tapered box? And lots of dance nuance. But so I was like, man, like I want to go into like a shoe store and find like some like wizened, like mystical being of a person who will just like look at my feet and be like, ah, yes, you will like the Hoka blah, blah, blahs or the Asics or the this or the that. And that was not it. It was some kid in his 20s maybe who was following a corporate sales script and was not doing a good job of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also crazy because we were a 2-shoe deal. So like we should have been the priority. We were at least 2 shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the person he picked up in the middle was not 2 shoes.
No.
So we left.
Yeah.
And that's something I think everyone should know, and I'm more comfortable with doing as an adult in my 30s is if I don't like something, I'll just be like, no, thank you, leave. I shut him down on the gimmick for the insoles pretty quick. And he did give in. I think I have a don't fuck with me attitude sometimes in public. And I was nice. I think I was polite. But yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
The whole thing was weird.
Not the best.
So 0 out of 10 recommend. But if you have a good shoe store recommendation, let me know. Wherever you are. I'll travel at this point. I just want good running shoes.
Yeah.
I have some I like, but I want a second pair. Like, because you're supposed to vary them for your feet or something.
Yeah. We tried on like 5 pairs and they were all.
Yeah. I felt like everyone in Cinderella who's not Cinderella. It was like, that doesn't fit, but kind of pretty, but doesn't fit. It was not my glass shipper. Glass slipper?
No.
Yeah. So that's what we've been up to.
Yeah. Noel Noah is the owner of the Silverwood ink shop in Witch Hat,
which we've been watching and is a 10 out of 10 good vibe. If you have not watched Witch Hat Atelier, can you watch it anywhere but Crunchyroll?
No, I think it's only streaming on Crunchyroll.
So I like animes, but I was about to get into like very specific. Like I like Pokemon, I like Sailor Moon, I liked Escaflowne.
Yeah.
I'm not super into big battle, a lot of like, you know what I mean?
Shonen.
Okay, thank you. I was like, I don't know what the categories are. Unfortunately,
I'll help fill in. You talk. I'll
you narrow it in for me. You tighten it. So yeah, that's the kind I like, and this is very much that kind of show where it's like it's not a big battle. That there are battles, which I like Sailor Moon, which I like I'm okay with, but it's more about the characters and learning and development in this universe and this world and like what's everyone up to and why and like it's definitely like I assume it's following a Chosen One arc. We've only watched about 4 episodes, and it's super cute. And Brenton's read all the manga.
Yes,
that's out so far. It's a series that's still in.
There's what did I pick up? 14, I think, is the most recent volume. So yeah, I've loved this for a long time. I think I had you get me volume 1 for my birthday many years ago, and I've been reading ever since.
And the art is beautiful. And the art in the show looks like the art in the manga. Like it's very one-to-one.
They translated it really well. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah, some of the, when they're like talking like lore or like descriptions of things will often be accompanied by like beautiful backdrops and departures from like the main style. And those are all translated over really well. And the music's great.
The music is gorgeous.
Yeah, just to give like a quick pitch on it. This is a show where it's a world kind of more I guess like almost like medieval like sort of thing, maybe like 1700s, like not, there's like some technology but like not really, it's not like automation or anything. And the technology all comes from magic, and so the people who can do magic are witches. And then so it centers on a girl named Coco, who's a regular human who always wants to be a witch, but witches are born that way as far as she knows. And when she's young, she's given this book by like someone at a fair that has like supposedly magical spells in it. But later she learns, after watching a witch from like a secret view, that magic is not like just something you cast, it's actually something you draw. And so then she starts copying the pages from inside the book that she received as a child, now that she knows how to use them. And then things go awry, and she is then shipped off into the magical world, because that same wizard, usually what happens if humans find out that magic is real, they wipe their memories. But this one takes her under because there's thieving, other complications and things. So it's much more about...
and then it's like a magical boarding school girly vibe, which I love. Not like girly, but you know what I mean. It's like the girlies are at boarding school.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone at the boarding school is a girl as the students.
Yeah. And then it's their two gay dads as teachers.
And
you haven't met the second gay dad.
No, but the first one, he is giving what I imagine like hot man anime character is supposed to be. Yes. Like he's very like the soft, gentle, sexy.
If you have seen any art of a man with silver hair, that is Kiefer, and that's who you're talking about. And yes, everybody loves him.
He's very pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's much more about the characters interacting and growing, because the magic is often an allegory for skill. And so it's all really materialist in that way of like talking about learning a trade and what it means. And then also as the series goes on, just to give general themes of like what it means for like a certain group of society to hold all that power and hold all this knowledge. And there's other explorations around disability and race and things that come up. So we're not quite there to some of those yet, but it's much slower and more grounded in these characters growing and learning what it means to be people in the world.
All in all, I love it. I think it's beautiful. Yeah. I'd wanted to read the manga, but I have a hard time reading manga. I was like books with pictures. But I do love the art style, and I did look up the creator of the series, and
Shirohama.
I think I'm is a right. She was also an illustrator, and so like her big thing is like that her illustrative style is like a little bit more almost like, I want to say like picture book, but like children's book, like it's like that kind of style, which I think there's just so much rich detail in that. Like it's just like a different aesthetic, and it's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Like I would paper the walls with that art. Like it's so pretty.
Yeah, I do want to buy the art book at some point because they recently put one out.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've been up to. That and going to bed at 8 p.m. So
that's right. Well, we can talk about other sorts of witches.
Yeah.
But first, we have a couple new characters this week and cast. So, playing Barabbas is Oliver Rice. So, this is big for us Catholics here. It's a big Catholic week here on the podcast. So, Barabbas.
It's a big Catholic. Are we Catholic?
Former Catholics.
I was like, are we still Catholic? Because nobody told me.
That's right. You're like, when did I resubscribe?
I was like, well, I don't think our marriage is blessed in the church, so I don't think we're Catholic. We're living in sin, baby.
It's kind of like when you keep getting the emails and you're like, I thought I unsubscribed from this list.
Exactly.
So for those who don't know, this is everything that centers around this week is around Pontious Pilate and the crucifixion of Jesus, because when Jesus was crucified, he was locked up by the government of Judea and then brought forward for being a blasphemer and spreading lies and things like that. And when he was brought forth of whether to be crucified or not, Pontious Pilate, who's the governor, brings forward other prisoners, including Barabbas, who's another prisoner, and he asks the gathered crowd, "Who will you want to pardon?"
Because they pardon someone because it's Passover,
Yes.
allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no record of this outside of this, from what I've looked up. It's like the Passover pardons, but then like from what I found, and I didn't deep dive, I just did like a quick research. There's no other mentions in history of Passover pardon. So it's like, was this made up for the Bible?
The Bible. Interesting.
But so it's like, because it's Passover, we're going to pardon one of these prisoners. And when you're Catholic, on Good Friday,
there's things to quibble with.
So on Good Friday, when you're Catholic, you go to Mass. You go to Mass more than once for Easter because God hates your free time. The idle hands, devil's playthings. That's what he's always saying. And they give you these little like ferns that you get to, or like fronds that you get to like play with too. Do you remember that? Or was that
that's
Palm
on
Sunday?
Palm Sunday.
Yeah. So that's in a couple days.
In the Catholic Church, Palm Sunday is when Jesus returns from 40 days and 40 nights in the desert where he was tempted by the devil. And then this was whether he is going to be the savior, essentially. It's like these temptations, he has to go by himself and face these trials. And he emerges without succumbing to the temptations, comes back into Judea, and the people welcome him with like palm fronds. And so that's what Palm Sunday is.
So they give you these palm fronds, and you can like if you sit by the old ladies that have gone to church for a long time, they'll like make them into crosses and like do fun crafts with them while they're sitting in Mass because they're bored out of their fucking minds because they're hearing the same Mass they've heard for the last 60 something years. Anyway, but on I almost said on Black Friday, on Good Friday.
Deals.
You get to reenact the whole scene of them deciding who's going to get picked. And of course, as the members of the church, you read and follow along, and you have to be the audience, like the crowd who tells the Pontious Pilate to crucify Jesus. So you get to yell, crucify him, which is a great time.
Yeah. And this is the only time that you will ever do this. You
never get to talk in Catholic Church, except for when they say, peace be with you. And you used to say, and also with you. But now you say, and with your spirit, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
You know what's wild? I think that John Mulaney joke about that is 10 years old at this point.
I know, but we don't go to church. The only time we go to church is when someone dies.
Mm-hmm. And this is also written like stage, like as if you're reading from a play, like a script. And this is the only time
you are given lines. You've got your sides. You're practicing. You're ready to go.
And again, the only time this happens all year in the Catholic Church. So when
you're a kid,
exactly. Oh yeah, it's really cool. But then watching this episode, when the crowd is just going Barabbas, and it's like that's not right.
You yell crucify him.
Exactly.
Crucify him. So that's
I was like taking all the fun out of it.
I know. We didn't get to do our call and response.
Uh-huh.
I've also been reading a book called The Master and Margarita, which is an old it's a Russian book written from the I think 29 to 40, but then it wasn't published until like the 70s or 80s. And part of the storyline is also like, it's like the devil comes to Moscow. It's like a whole thing. But part of it is you go back to this scene, and it's like you're in Pontious Pilate's head, and it's like he has a headache, and it's like this really, because it's Russian, so it's written in a very Russian way, which is like a little bit like, I guess like satirical, and also just like, I can't think of like a good word for it, but like it's a good time. And so I had just read that scene the night before, and then we watched this. So I was like, wow, I am just back to back hitting Pontious Pilate.
Mm-hmm.
He's everywhere.
It doesn't come up often, but
when it does,
yeah. And so our Barabbas is played by Oliver Rice, who was Prince Philip in A Cinderella Christmas Ball, which was a TV movie.
Oh.
Also in the Nancy Drew CW TV show.
Oh.
And will be in season 6 of Riverdale as Lou Cipher. So we'll get to that. And then also in Altered Carbon. We'll get to that.
Well, like when we get there.
Exactly. And season 6. Pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
And our second cast member this week is Daniel Nemez as Pontious Pilate. as we mentioned previously. Pontious Pilate is. There wasn't a ton I do on his CV, but he was.
I was like, on Pontious Pilate?
Couldn't figure out who this guy was. He was Gavin in The Magicians, 10 episodes. Was that their teacher? I really can't remember.
I can't remember. I read the book and I said, this is not for me.
Yeah, I didn't like the first book. Didn't read after. But he was also in Abducted, the Mary Stuffer story, which was for Lifetime. It's like a true crime, not reenactment, a fictionalization. High school teacher Mary Stoffer and her 8-year-old daughter Beth are held captive by an obsessed former student. Starring, can you guess?
Him?
No.
Kieran Shipka.
Nope.
I don't know.
Older than that. Who would play the mom?
I
don't know if you're going to be able to guess, but this is a fun game.
Reese Witherspoon.
Nope. Allison Hannigan.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten there because I don't feel like Allison Hannigan has much connection to what.
No, but I was just finding it hilarious. I was like, oh, I'm going to pull that in. Love Allison Hannigan. All right, but that is it for our cast this week. And so we'll get on to our first episode recap. Chapter 25, The Devil Within. There was nothing listed on fandom, so I just put The Devil Within into your search bar. And I was like, oh, there's a 2010 independent feature film that was directed by Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Like the Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Yep. So I was like, okay.
Why?
I don't know. He decided to make a horror movie.
What's it about?
It's a horror movie.
Oh, you didn't look it up?
I didn't look up the summary. I mean, I looked up. I didn't write down the summary, but I looked it up. I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds like a horror movie.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fine.
All right. So Nick gasps awake, chained to the ground inside a spell circle. Sabrina and Ambrose lecture Nick on getting clean from drugs. Underworld starts playing. He sees a baby on the ceiling. Ambrose has a spell to get him clean that takes 30 days, but he's going to use the Loch Ness Egg's time warping powers to make it only one single agonizing day. Nick yells at Sabrina that he hates her. He's like, I hate you. They lock Nick away, and Sabrina feels bad and says he needs me, and the coven needs him. And Ambrose goes to Prudence to see about curing her sisters, and Sabrina goes to check on Roz. Sabrina catches up with Harvey and Theo and tells... I feel like this episode had so much of the Netflix dialogue, and I'm like, oh my... Like, of the second screen thing of Sabrina being like, well, I have to tell Harvey and Theo everything right on screen, even though it's like, we could just cut to them being like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Prudence and Ambrose get stuck with this the entire time. Every time they pop into a scene, I'm like, come on now. Excuse me. And she tells Harvey and Theo to stay at Harvey's away from the pagans. Sabrina leaves and runs into Lilith in the woods, who's like, no time for this plot right now. You're needed for the second challenge. Lilith brought the hordes of hell to the academy. And she's like, and now everybody knows you're the queen of hell, as all the witches are like, and the second round is retrieving Pontious Pilate's bowl. Sabrina tries to deny doing the second challenge, but Lilith lectures her that Sabrina not taking the throne is the cause of everything bad. The witches having no power, the old ones rising up. And Zelda tells Sabrina she needs to focus on the challenge to help them all. Lilith tells Sabrina that Pontious Pilate's bowl is outside of Jerusalem on the hill of Golgotha, which is where Jesus was crucified. The bowl is in an infernal time loop, and there's a painting at Dorian's that's a portal to Golgotha, coincidentally. Sabrina will gather water from the tank with the egg and meet Lilith at Dorian's because she's going to use the water to enter the time loop. Sabrina gathers the water, and we see Nick writhing on the floor in pain. Then Sabrina finds Hilda acting weird, chasing a fly in the office, and Sabrina walks away, and Hilda catches the fly and eats it. All the Hilda stuff this week is so gross.
I hate that she's turning into a frog.
Spider,
sorry. Why did I...
Because I also thought when she's tracking the fly.
Tongue, yeah.
But
we knew it was a spider, and the woman said it was a spider, but my brain just wrote frog.
Oh, I mean, listen back to any week as I'm reading my notes. Robin arrives at Harvey's and wonders, hey, what's this? What the hell is that weird marble statue thing lying on the couch? And Theo's like, can you wait outside? And Harvey tells Theo to get Robin away from there.
The best, only smart idea Harvey's had. I can't even say it. I'm like, Harvey had a smart moment. Don't worry, not for long.
Prudence enters Agatha's mind to figure out what happened, and she finds Agatha's brain overwhelming and all over the place. She eventually sees that Professor Carcosa is Pan, and Agatha was driven mad by just by seeing him. Pan is one of the oldest pagan monsters, which freaks out Ambrose. Lilith and Sabrina... Well, that's not very nice. You don't know he's a monster. Lilith and Sabrina go through the painting and arrive at Golgotha. Sabrina douses herself in the water to enter the time loop, and she finds a stone altar with a cross at the end of a path on a beach. 2 footprints in the sand. She finds Pontious Pilate, who says they've been waiting for her, and asks her centurions to seize her. Elsbeth tells Melvin maybe they should give Sabrina over to the pagans, and suddenly Lucifer / Blackwood, I'll be referring to them as Lucifer the rest of this, but it's, Blackwood's body, appears, and he tells them to join the pagans, and they run off. Ambrose tests a tuning fork on Dorcas, and he's like, wow, perfectly in tune.
Okay, wait, but if he's not trapped anymore, like in the thing, why isn't he just out of Blackwood's body?
That's a really good question. I mean, I guess he would have to have Blackwood undo the Acheron configuration, and would Blackwood do that? I don't know. I guess so.
Why would Blackwood want to keep him inside of him?
I don't know. Maybe they just really get along.
They're just besties.
That's right. They're roommates.
Oh.
Catch my fic. And Ambrose tests a tuning fork on Dorcas and proves that she's still alive but stone, and he gets an idea and looks up a way to amplify their power using a circle of stones in the woods. These stones are underground, so they're going to dig them up. Zelda vents to Hilda about the pagans, and Hilda almost chokes on a cookie and spits out webs. Hilda eventually offers that they should send a summoning spell to wayward witches. Ambrose and Prudence come in and tell them about the stones, and then the 3 leave Hilda alone, and she remembers Circe putting a curse on her. Sabrina's locked in a cage next to Caliban, and he arrived via Time Stone, which is the big stone that Lilith and Sabrina passed by in the scene earlier. Another prisoner, Barabbas, says people come to steal the bowl and always die, but he's doomed, like Pontius, to repeat the same day over and over again. Pontius Pilate could break the curse, but won't. Before they're crucified, Pontius washes his hands in the bowl, and then Sabrina thinks that's when she can get it. Caliban wants to grab it too, and Sabrina lectures him on cheating in the last challenge and that a king must have honor, and he's like, oh, just like Aragorn. Robin gets bullied by Bill. Bill is his father. Robin gets bullied by Billy and another football player, and then Robin casts a spell on them when Theo comes in and tells them to back off. Now, do you think Theo interrupts the casting, or do you think Robin's spell just doesn't come off? Because it seems like Circe's spell just ends up overriding whatever he was doing to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or did he just mark them? So then, but then it wouldn't really matter because Circe's like, well, you're messing up our camp, so I'm going to turn you into a pig anyway.
Yeah.
And then they apologize. They're like, oh, hey, we didn't know Robin was with you, Theo, and you're cool.
I think that's intentionally, it's overridden so that we have more sympathy for Robin as a character. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Robin's actions had consequences in this scene, then we would feel bad about Robin. But because Robin does not... nothing comes to fruition of that. We don't feel necessarily negative about Robin.
So then, but why does he even cast a spell then?
Well, because he's under attack.
And he should have been interrupted then if we didn't want that to happen. You know what I mean? If we're still trying to engender sympathy.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, he's not going to not do something. He is what he is.
Right, but I mean, you can, instead of having him complete the spell, Theo could have interrupted, right? Instead of, I guess, doing other gymnastics. Robin and Theo enjoy milkshakes, and Theo opens up about transitioning, and Robin dodges question about his family. Pontius Pilate says the punishment for trespassing in Golgotha is 100 lashes. Caliban offers to take them to show he has honor, and tells Sabrina she's too cute for scars.
Well, and he's made out of clay, so he won't bleed.
Sabrina asks Barabbas what happens when he's pardoned because she has a plan. Elsbeth and Melvin bow down to the pagans, and Pan says, the green man's time approaches, and he'll need more nourishment. And we see that the seed is growing into a man shape of its tree, barks and roots coming up in the shape of a man. And then Pan stabs Elsbeth in the throat as sacrifice, and they let Melvin run off to tell the coven. We see Lucifer watching, and he's like, I want revenge for the coven abandoning me. Pontius Pilate starts the ceremonies and asks the crowd who to pardon. Crucify him, crucify him. They all shout Barabbas. Pontious Pilate goes to wash his hands after sentencing Caliban and Sabrina. Caliban pulls on his chains, which distracts Pontious enough for Barabbas to grab the bowl and run. We see that it's actually Sabrina with the bowl, and there was a glamour on Barabbas. Sabrina makes it to the time stone and escapes. Lilith is there and tells Sabrina to let go of Caliban. He's in the past, so it already happened. Doesn't matter. And tries to get her to go back to hell. But Sabrina says, first, we gotta help the coven. Ambrose and Prudence dug up the stones and placed them in the academy. Hilda's giant-ass scar thing on her face looks like a giant pimple, and she squeezes it and spiders come out. I'm even getting, sick to my stomach thinking about it. It's so gross.
Yeah, I closed my eyes.
She covers as Zelda comes in, and we see that she's seeing Zelda in, 8 fractals. Harvey sits with Roz playing his
just
guitar.
like a frog.
That's right. Classic frog.
Classic frog.
Harvey sits with Roz playing his guitar as Lucifer haunts him and calls him pathetic for not doing anything, and then pushes him to go to the carnival to get revenge, and Harvey's like, yeah, and grabs his pickaxe.
Fucking dumbest boy in the world.
Yes. Theo and Robin hook up when Theo stops and wants to know more about Robin. And Robin says, well, I moved around a lot because my parents' job, and I never could make friends, and he doesn't believe in the same things they do anymore. I don't get it. I don't get you, Mom and Dad. Robin is jealous that Theo has hometown roots and wonders what it would be like if he didn't move on with his family. Theo gets a call from Harvey that him and some meatheads are going to go trash the carnival. The coven gathers and Ambrose passes out tuning forks. Ambrose tells Sabrina that Nick is doing okay and he needs Sabrina's help there. Agatha sits alone as Lucifer appears with a sledgehammer, and he tells her she's been treated terribly and it's right and just, using some Catholic language here, for her to seek her revenge. The coven casts their spell to gather the wayward wishes until Agatha comes in with a sledgehammer and takes out one of the stones. Prudence tackles her to the ground when she goes for Dorcas. Agatha says the Dark Lord freed her, and Ambrose says the transmission got cut short. Melvin runs in to tell them Elsbeth was killed, and the pagans plan to sacrifice them all. Harvey and the football boys trash the carnival. They're all getting along now. Spooky things start happening when Circe appears, and Harvey wants her to explain what happened to Roz, and she's like, "Oh yes, I'll show you what happened. Take me to her." And the football boys are like, "Get him!" And they all go and grab her, and then she turns them all into pigs because it was Chekhov's Circe in the last episode. At some point, she was going to be turning people into pigs. We see Lucifer watching from afar. Sabrina thinks Nick looks worse, and Ambrose cuts open one of the leeches that was on Nick, and black ooze comes out. I'll just finish off this scene because it gets cut in between. Ambrose explains the black ooze is Satan's residue. This is what was left inside Nick and is alive and corrupting. Ambrose thinks they can use Sabrina as a lure to get the residue out. Sabrina agrees, and Ambrose cuts her palm, and she squeezes her blood onto the Nick, and then the residue, comes out of Nick and eats up her blood. It jumps to her hands, and she brings it over to Pilate's bowl, where Ambrose pours holy water on her hands, and it falls off, and then covers the residue in the bowl to subdue it. And then Ambrose thinks he has a use for the residue. Robin and Theo arrive at the carnival to see Harvey gather all the football pigs into the truck, and Theo offers to store them in his barn. Hilda confesses to Zelda she thinks the pagans did something to her and she's changing, and she keeps saying these things as if literally, and Zelda's like, yes, they're doing stuff to all of us, and thinking that she's speaking metaphorically and not listening to her. Ambrose brings the jar of residue into the office and has an idea. Sabrina goes into Nick's room, and he's come to. He feels ashamed for his actions. Sabrina says, you're all good. The ritual worked, and we can get back together. And Nick's like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if it was the Dark Lord that said those things, or if I actually meant some of it, and I wonder if something's wrong with me. He says he needs time to work it out by himself, and that he thinks she also needs to focus on other things like the Coven and Queen of Hell, and that he'll just slow her down, and that he loves her but can't do this anymore. And Sabrina asks to kiss him, and he says, if he does kiss her, he'll never be able to walk away, and he leaves, and Sabrina tells him she loves him, and Lilith appears, and it's like, queens aren't allowed to cry, and summons her to hell. Robin tells Theo and Harvey...
She says it really soft.
She does. She goes, oh, dear Sabrina, did, nobody tell you that queens...
Yeah, aren't allowed to cry.
Yeah.
Because what was Lilith's biggest mistake? She fell in love with a man.
So she has sympathy. Robin tells Theo and Harvey he has to come clean. Dr. C closes up when Hilda comes in looking way more like a spider, but she casts a glamour so he can't see what's going on, and they hug. Sabrina returns with the bowl, and the kings wonder where Caliban is, and Lilith says her victory over Caliban was absolute, and Sabrina says, I'm not sure he survived, and Caliban's like, I waited 2,000 years and after you cheated, and now I'm here, and calls her out on her honor. Sabrina mentions to Lilith Lucifer escaped from the academy, and Lilith is pissed as hell that he's out, and she didn't say anything to him. It's like, he's going to come kill me. Ambrose says they can use the residue to make a warding resin, and Sabrina, Ambrose, and Zelda go to paint the ward when witches appear, and the witches are pissed that they got summoned against their will and promise to kill everybody. The end.
Okay. Let's start with the Prudence, Ambrose, other witches, the coven drama.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Ambrose is really pulling the mental weight of this whole organization at this point. Which makes sense. He's very learned.
Exactly.
He's well read.
Zelda's having a rough time. She's spinning out a little bit.
Hilda's eating bugs and
and not getting cared for.
Yeah. I enjoy this Ambrose. I really like when we let Ambrose do things like this. Like I love season 1 has some good Ambrose moments like this where Sabrina's like, okay, I want to do this thing, find me spells, like do like all of this. And so I like the librarian Ambrose vibes. Like I think it's good.
Totally, yeah. He's like the tech guy on the heist. It's like, how are we gonna break in there? How are we gonna do? Where he like gets to like lead, and there's a lot of good moments in this episode of him being like, but this, and but this.
And then like his utter devastation when the stones are ruined too, because he like the weight of it is so important. I think he does a really good job communicating that.
And I would also be so pissed if I dug up those stones. They're huge.
Dude,
and then someone came in and smashed them with a sledgehammer.
And they gotta be heavy. And then there's
a lot of smashing this.
Then the hedge witches show up at the end and they say, we're gonna kill you. Well, one of them says we're gonna kill you.
Just Gryla. But then all the other witches are like, hee hee.
Except Mambo Marie. I don't know. Ambrose is like Mambo Marie.
Yeah, he's excited.
Everyone else says the name, or Zelda says the name's kind of like, oh, like Gryla, you know what? Or like she's like serious, and then he's like Mambo Marie.
Which I I probably understand. He's like, there's a lot of white people here.
Yeah, he's like, look, Mambo Marie.
Yeah,
what a
thank
queen.
God.
Also because she has a great time.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And
that she doesn't seem to have the same anger that like Gryla and them. But Gryla, there's some stuff there. She's got some trauma.
Yeah, they go back.
Yeah.
So, and then the whole Sabrina as the lure to pull the devil out of Nick. What I like too about Ambrose is that he's willing to play risky with Sabrina.
Yes.
A lot of people are not willing to play risky with Sabrina, but from day one, he has been more willing to get into hijinks with her and to use her.
Yes, that is so true.
Because she's willing to be used. I think he does it very cautiously, but he's like, okay, just keep your fists closed so that we don't let any devil in you.
Yeah, he's always been of the like, I'm going to give you all the information I can on a given thing, and what you do with it is up to you. And like, if something bad goes happen, that's on you.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of trust put there. I mean, it's not like quite parenting. It's more like older brother vibes there.
Yeah.
But it's just because it was on a Game Study Buddies episode that I was listening to. It's similar to like how you've talked about like social media is like a way of like monitoring. Like kids are like the next generations after us are way more conservative with showing and doing things, not like capital C conservative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking more like of just not wanting to.
Well, we saw the way they voted.
That's true, but in this context, and that they were also talking about on that, it's like now these like kids' lives are way more mediated through the apps and online.
They're
and
very
things like
afraid of being seen doing anything and like being cringe, and they call like a lot of the things that like they're like, oh, millennials are so cringe, but it's because they're afraid to do anything and have it recorded and posted online. Whereas like we know that like when we did dumb shit, even if our friends took pictures, even if they posted them, everyone's page was private.
Yeah. And that there's no place for them. There's even less and less places, and we already had so few of them, to just go out, be kids, and just be in the world. Because at a certain point as a kid and as a parent, you kind of just have to accept that like they're going to go out and make the best decision that they can, and things might go wrong, and that's unfortunate, but like you have to let them be independent and be their own thing. So that's what I was kind of thinking of, that connection too, back to Ambrose, of how he treats Sabrina, even though it is more of like the older brother, but still of like, I trust you. You kind of got to do the thing you're going to do. And if it blows up in your face, like you got to deal with the consequences.
Exactly. Okay. The other thing I want to focus on then is the Sabrina and Lilith relationship. To me is really interesting. So it's giving mean mom.
Yes.
It's like the mom that's like, well, all of this is your fault.
And
it works on Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
But Lilith is obviously lying to her because I guess it is Sabrina's fault in a way that the coven doesn't have their powers. But wasn't Lilith a part of that?
She was also, well, and contradicts what she said last week, where that was all Lucifer's gift, is why the coven didn't have power. So there's like some stuff here, but also, Sabrina did lock up Lucifer, but that's not Lilith's point here either.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting, but it works really well on someone like Sabrina, and I think that's why Zelda sees what Lilith is doing and says, yeah, you need to do this. Like, you have to try to protect us all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really nice shift to, it's kind of like looking at two different strong maternal characters for her. And from last week when Zelda's like, you want power, and like, that's okay to a point. And now she's like, no, you better take all the power because we need you to take all the power.
Yeah.
And so I think it also highlights to me how women are so community minded, even when they seek power. Like, why they want power is to help people and to do good things. It's not because they think like they're the most important. It's like they think they're the best for the job.
Yeah.
It's not because they want the status.
Often, yeah. There's some
in the way this is being portrayed.
Totally. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. Lilith wants power, but Lilith is also a victim, and she wants power to protect herself.
Well, exactly. And even when she wants the power, it's not like she's antagonistic to any of them.
No, and she wants the power because she was promised it.
Exactly, and she doesn't necessarily want to ransack the earth like Lucifer.
Exactly. Yeah, she's like, no, that's fine. We can make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's really interesting. And then Lilith's betrayal of like Sabrina not telling her.
Yes.
She's like, what? You didn't tell me. And Sabrina, in her defense, there's about 67 things happening at one time.
That's true. It is it's
a big oversight.
Exactly. And I understand where Lilith is coming from, because it's like, wait, you're talking about the person that wants to kill me is just out and about.
And you didn't tell me?
You didn't tell me?
But the Lilith softness in the queens aren't allowed to cry is like very, like, I think that's a very like real moment.
Yes.
And I think it's really good.
Yeah. And I think the other thing you pointed out with Zelda is eating her words of being like, well, you got to do this thing now. And also like, well, you're in this situation now and this is the best option. Like, you got to go for it. You got to do it.
Exactly. So then Nick did actually have a little bit of Satan inside of him.
Yes, he did.
And that is so traumatic and gross to me.
Yeah.
I'm just like the infernal residue.
Mm-hmm. I usually hate when it's like, oh, the person that was acting to cause friction in the show, well, that was all because of something else. But what I at least like, I much preferred where it was just Nick, like a straightforward metaphor for trauma. But I think
because the trauma lingers. Like, I think that's what that's representing.
Yeah.
And you don't act like yourself when you're traumatized. So I think he's unable to accept that fact.
The thing specifically that I struggle with here is that like they've already brought up that this is trauma, and then it's like adding a hat on a hat. And it's like, oh, actually, the trauma is a physical thing on top of it, and it's not just what regular people experience as trauma. We now have to add this extra layer of like residue so that when that gets removed, it can be a little tighter and people can feel a little better.
Don't you think that that's how trauma works, though? Is that people often believe that it's like not lingering, and it does? I think it's just like a better way to explain that for people that don't understand.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Because you can't do a one. I mean, you can do a one-to-one, but I in this type of world,
what they were doing.
But I think it's also like it's fun to me in the sense, not fun, haha, but like in the sense of like how there's I don't want to say like the monstrous feminine, but it's like this really like idea that Nick is experiencing something that a lot of women and people of all genders experience, but the idea that like this could linger inside of him and become something that's like parasitic off of him, to me could be representative of a lot of different things that happen to women exclusively. So I think that, or I guess anyone with ovaries and a uterus. So I think that there's a little bit there that I kind of like this, taking that step further and like putting it on this character. I just think that it's a nice way to kind of flip that it doesn't always have to be, that we're not always watching women suffer on television.
Yes.
In a system with magic, when we can make it someone else and elicit the sympathy, like, will this elicit more sympathy from men because this is a man?
Well, yeah. And I mean, and
which is stupid, but the world we live in.
And I think it's important also to show that men suffer a sexual assault as well.
Exactly.
And things. And there's a lot of Nick's position, as we mentioned throughout the show, compared to Sabrina, of putting him in the position that usually a woman main character or a woman love interest and things would be placed, where Sabrina's the one saving him and stepping up and doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
But what I at least did like is that he's like, I don't know where the hatred is, and I think there's some truth into what I was feeling there about you and our relationship. So I need some time. So I do at least appreciate that.
I think it's very telling that he's like, I love you, but I don't know what's real and what wasn't because my head is so scrambled from this.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's good. I usually hate when you have like a character breakup like this, but I also think what they do really well is they make Sabrina really insane. Sabrina is like, and then we can go back to normal. And I'm like, girl, we are never like, her whole goal every single episode is, and then we'll go back to normal. And I'm like, you left normal day one.
Yeah, you can't put you can't put the genie back in this bottle.
But it's also the way he phrases it, and I think that it's almost more of this than even him needing to work it out, is that he feels so guilty that he no longer feels worthy of her. And I think he's punishing himself. And I think that that's kind of why it's lined up with this Pontious Pilate plotline too. I think we're playing with that like guilt and the like, I did this horrible thing to you. So now I'm having trouble looking at you, not because of what happened to me, but because of what I did to you, which is because of what happened to me. But he can't bridge that to give himself that sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where like his self-doubt kind of aspect really comes into it. And then his like him being like, if I kiss you now, I'll never be able to walk away. That to me tells me he doesn't hate her. He's just he feels very guilty, and he feels like he's putting her in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she's focusing on him, which it kind of does, if she's focusing 100%. On him, she's in more danger.
And also, as Ambrose says, it's like, I checked on Nick. He's fine. We need you here.
Yeah.
She's needed in many places, and Nick understands and also feels a shame of like, well, she has to come and protect me, but she has all these other things she needs to do.
Yes.
So.
And I don't mind the competition Caliban flirting stuff because like I think it's fun. Yeah. I just think it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
She accepts it, and moves along. Exactly.
The Dark Lord's like a really mean god, which we knew, but like sending the children.
Vengeful god.
Yeah, he's very Old Testament. He's like, let me send the children to go get killed by the pagans because I'm mad at them.
Yes.
Seems weird, but not my journey. And then he goes after Harvey, which once again seems weird, but not my journey. And then we get to the Robin and Theo of it all. Oh, did you have something you want to say about Harvey?
Oh, this would be a really good opportunity if we had continued on Harvey's path that we had set up 2 episodes ago, because it's like now he's reaching out to the football players to go do this thing. And there's a lot more that could have been explored there of like he feels insecure and unmasculine compared to these guys. So what does that look like when he's reaching out to them? And also, is there a safe space for him to do that because it's going to be going out and acting more masculine, going on the attack and not feeling pathetic, but it's way compressed and not focused on. So it's just like,
no. And like, what did he tell them about what happened to Roz? Like just that she was hurt?
Yeah. Exactly. If it had followed from 2 episodes ago where he was feeling insecure about his masculinity and budding sexual relationship with Roz, and how it ties into the quote unquote ideal masculine of the football players that he sees. But that's not right up. So I was just saying, missed opportunity.
Oh, the other thing that I forgot to mention in the Sabrina Pontious Pilate of it all is that once again we have Sabrina Jesus.
Yes.
It's another thing that is a Sabrina Jesus. My notes say Sabring Jesus because apparently I was just writing G's. Frog, Sabring.
Yeah.
But and the doom to repeat the time loop over and over again also to me is like a guilt thing. Like
Yes.
you're stuck in the trauma. Like Pontious Pilate is choosing to stay stuck in the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just like I think that like thematically the episode actually ties really well.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Thematically, I think great. I think the execution of the time loop is a little wanting because it's like 4 people on a beach. And
Because they're the only people stuck in the time loop.
I know, but it like doesn't because it's just 4 people on a beach, it doesn't feel like tense. I'm like, she could get out of here at any time.
Yeah.
Same with Gallivan. I'm like, how did you even get captured?
Can't he just turn to clay?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Couldn't she I also have just like blasted him and taken the bowl?
If I did something and had to wait 2,000 years to finish, I would forget what I was doing.
That's true. I love nothing. I do love that beat. I love nothing more than someone being like, oh yeah, I'm going to time travel by experiencing time normally until I catch up.
Exactly. Like that's so funny.
It's great.
So let's talk about Robin and Theo.
Sorry, real quick. And also that he doesn't do anything in the meantime to mess with the current timeline, that he's just going to sit on his hands because he's like stewing for 4,000 years that it's like, well, she lectured me, so I'm going to lecture her back.
2,000?
2,000, sorry.
How long ago? What Bible did you read?
Yeah, I love that when it happens, and I love that idea.
No, I think it's very fun. I agree. So Robin and Theo, we get Robin being like, the older I get, the less their beliefs make sense to me. When was Robin adopted? We assume Robin is some sort of fae? Question mark.
You know,
based on the name, that would be a fae.
And I'm curious what this carnival has done in other places, because it seems like the old ones are only coming back now. So have they been ritually sacrificing places, or
just
have
like
they just
wandering around?
Yeah, just being a carnival and practicing pagan beliefs.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good question.
And then what's Robin gonna tell them? Robin, I need to tell you guys something.
I think he's gonna come clean, because I think Robin's just a good boy.
I think Robin's very nice.
Not good instead of good fellow, good boy. Robin, good boy.
Yeah.
He's just really nice, and I think their relationship is the most, at least in our current part of the show, the most like YA of like, we have this relationship where we want to be together and we're having to deal with our past traumas, and Robin is dealing with how he would work with the parental figures in his life, which is actually a group of Church of Witches and
pagans. Yeah. I all in all thought it was a good time. Is there anything you want to add to this?
I think we hit all my points. Okay. Yes.
Well then.
Yeah. When I forgot the intro to this, you can find this podcast on YouTube at dead_ends, where you can see us without the ironing board this week. I'm so sorry. No ironing board guesting this week.
Which is ironic because I actually sewed this week, but I did put it away after.
Oh. And then you can also find this on all your audio podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. All of our podcast art is made by Senki R. You can find a link to their portfolio in the episode description. We are also on Blue Sky at Dead-Ends, and also on Instagram at deadendspcast. And you can comment any of those places, or reach out to us at deadendspcast@gmail.com, or leave a comment on YouTube if you'd like to ask us questions or anything related to the show and the episodes.
Well, not today, Satan.
Not today.
A little aggressive. I'm sorry if that was loud.
Yeah. Sorry, Satan.
That wasn't who I was apologizing to.
Oh, to the audience.
Yeah, I was apologizing to the people who listen.
And they're in you too. I'm sorry.
We love you.
Love you.
Life's weird.
But love everyone you got, as Sublime said.